I'm your host, Sky. What we want to talk about right now is the Jane Doe that is no more. She is no longer Jane Doe. She okay. Thank you for telling me that I'm muted. This is Evening Sky. I'm your host, Sky. I'm talking about Jane Doe being Jane Doe no more. Thank you, Bumba Clot, for telling me that I was muted. I didn't even realize that. I didn't even see that. They should have like a red sign or something like that to let you know. But anyway, um, I'm talking about the R. Kelly case. Have some questions about it. Just very interesting thing. Should he be free? He's such a creative force. Should he be free? I mean, where were the parents at for her? A 14-year-old girl. Where were the parents? Where were her parents during this whole ordeal? Or her guardian, or whoever who was taking care of her as a child. Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? No and no. Why are you asking, Bumba? Oh, here we go. God damn it. Ah! One battle after another. I just finished that movie. Complete trash. I hated it. Great acting, great direction, terrible writing. Um, but it held my attention. It was a long movie. It's like 2.5 hours. It's pretty long. Remember R. Kelly in Ethiopia? What are you talking about? Remember R. Kelly in Ethiopia? I don't. Wait a minute. Bumba, what are you doing? I don't. You're asking questions that are non sequiturs. What are you talking about? He was saying that song. What song? Sing that song. What song? What's the name of the song? Come on, Bumba. Let's not slow each other down. Come on now. You're a good guy. You're good money. You're good money. You know you never gave me a single nickel. You're good money. I appreciate it, but you like singing that song. I'm like, what song? I'm gonna be dumbfounded when you say it. I'm like, oh yeah, of course I remember now. But I don't know what the hell you're talking about right now. He was singing that song. What song? Anyway, this woman, Rashonda Landfair, has come out with a new book. She has an interview that's a half an hour long on CBS Mornings. R. Kelly singing that song trying to get girls to come back to America with him. What is the name of the song? What's the name of the song so I can look it up? I'm gonna just look that up. R. Kelly, Ethiopia. Yeah, I'm not getting it. Recruiting Ethiopian women to go to America. I never even heard that before. Do you have your passport? Do you get your shots? What the hell? It's a song called Did You Get Your Passport? Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Are you serious? I didn't even realize that was a song. He was just singing on stage. Wow, okay. That's very interesting. I never even knew that. But my question is this: who were her guardians? Who were her parents? It's I'm not trying to, take the blame away from R. Kelly. He definitely needs to serve some time for what he did. It may have been, kind of rough to say 31 years. He didn't kill anybody. He didn't murder her. That'd be totally. He didn't rape her Maybe he sexually assaulted her, and it's juvenile. Maybe it's oh god, the kind of rape. What is it called? Circumstantial, not circum. What is it called? Rape. This is my life, exactly. This is my life, man. That's what you got up and said again with Now I'm forgetting everybody now. This is getting crazy. What the hell? What's her name? Trapped in the Closet is hilarious. Yeah, but what's her name? God damn it! Damn it! Damn it! My memory is off. Gail King. That was who was an interview on him. But I don't even knew this is a song. Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? This is crazy. Live in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. To America, America, America. Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? To America, to America, to America. That is crazy. Trapped in the Closet. Yeah, Trapped in the Closet was brilliant. It was a brilliant song, brilliant video. The whole series was funny. I think there was like 3 Trapped in the Closet in the series. Um, I don't even remember what I was gonna say before. I was trying to remember, but statutory rape. I guess that would be called that definitely is statutory rape. She was underage. Nobody cares if you get pissed in the face or pissed in the mouth or anywhere else. If you're 31 years old, like or younger or a little bit older, like Cassie, nobody cares. That's your freaking off. That's you freaking off. But if you're under the age of 18 or 17 in some locations, that's definitely statutory rape, and that's wrong. But my question is about R. Kelly. Should he be free? All that creativity, what is he doing right now? Is he lifting weights? Is he in the gym? Is he in the day room? Is he writing lyrics? What is he doing right now? Because he could have had some bangers. He started in the early to mid 90s and didn't stop until about 2020, 21, something like that. What was it, 22, 23? Something like that? In 2020s. Charlemagne said he watched the tape many times, but that's Charlemagne. Charlemagne's a different kind of guy. I'm not gonna say anything against him. I'm just gonna say he's a different kind of guy. Wait, who's this? Gamer Dude 28. Hi, Gamer Dude 28. I heard somebody took a pin to his neck. No, that was not. That was the guy who attempted to assassinate President Trump. He took the pin to his neck at the sentencing. He sentenced to life in prison. And that's just. That's to the point. That's exactly on point. That's on schedule. He attempted to kill the leader of the free world, no matter what. Political violence at the highest level. That it should never be. There should be no political violence whatsoever, especially not at the highest level of the government. So he deserves his life in prison sentence. Now, but R. Kelly, 31 years, he'll get out when he's like 70 or 80 years old. Maybe even 90. I think he's like in his. Let me make sure. Of. Okay, this is crazy. He was born in 1967. So when he gets out, he'll be 98. Is that right? Or something like that? I think he's going to get off early. He's going to get out early, most likely. He's got kids. He's got Gia Kelly, Joanne Kelly, Robert Kelly Jr. It's just sad. It's just real sad. Well, that's your first question. What y'all talking about? Gamer Dude 28. I answer it. It's your free bingo space. We're talking about R. Kelly, and you give me $50 for my Cash App. That's what we're talking about. An inmate did that to R. Kelly. Bout. Hi. Say. Ahmed is back in the building. Hi, Ahmed. Salute. So we have to, we have to investigate all this. It's really disturbing. But I think with R. Kelly, he's just a force. He's a singer, songwriter, and record producer, and he's halfway illiterate or almost fully illiterate. I don't understand how he can be a songwriter. How do you write songs and you don't know? Do you understand the words that you're writing? Like, I don't understand what they say when they say he's illiterate. He's called the king of R&B, the king of pop soul, and the Pied Piper of R&B. The only person that can even claim to be close to him that's living right now is Usher. And then after that would be Chris Brown. But Chris Brown, he took a knock when he, messed up Rihanna's beautiful face. But they say that she was hitting him and he just reacted. So that's alleged, but it's possibly the reason why. No mi mami's Fatima. Or Fatima. I always say Fatima. I think it's Fatima. Is that you? Are you saying my name is Fatima? Well, your name looks like Ahmed Alarabi, 1183. That's what it looks like. But yeah. So Landfair, I watched the entire interview. She teared up a few times. She got a little choked up a few times. She was just kind of happy that her book is out now. She's just kind of glad that R. Kelly's locked away. I kind of disagree. I don't think this is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to champion the cause for underage sex or something like that. But I'm just saying, he didn't murder her. He didn't rape her. It was consensual. It's statutory rape because it's a minor, and that should be punished without question. But I'm just saying just that. Jelly Roll Zempic praise Holy Jeebus. Where did that come from, Bumba? Ahmed Preter. What's that? Preter? I don't know what you're talking about, sir. Or ma'am, I don't even know what you are. Hi again. I'm gonna start charging for highs in the future. Y'all want to say hi to me, y'all gotta start paying money. But let me get a little water here. All right, so did you jelly roll at the? You mean did I see jelly roll? Yeah, Ozempic or Wegovy or something. It used to be crack. Crack used to deflate your weight. I seen hoops greens deflate like a true fiend's weight. Now they do Ozempic. Now it's official. They do drugs cleared by the For Death Agency or the FDA. Oh, excuse me. What I say? So that is the reality. Jelly Roll's looking good, but we're not talking about Jelly Roll now. We're talking about R. Kelly, sir. It's not Jelly, but R. Kelly. And all he talked about was Jesus, but like he's married to a prostitute. We don't know that. We don't know. I don't know that. I don't know if she's on the stroll or anything like that. That's you. The views expressed by Bumba Clot on Evening Sky do not reflect those of the host. Viewer discretion is advised. You love Nine. Okay, that's great. I love you. I don't even know you. Nah, she's talked about it. That's how they met. Oh wow. Well, I'm not gonna say it on my side. I didn't check it out. I'm gonna look it up. And anyway, even if it was, Jesus hang out with prostitutes. I think Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. Oh, she was a high-end escort. She was an escort. She was a sex worker. Yeah. Okay. I'll accept it. I had to do my homework first. I'm just a little dinghy. I'm not a yacht. So even yachts got to make sure, especially yachts. But dinghies definitely got to. You I don't. No, that's highly man. Okay. Got you. Okay, but R. Kelly. R. Kelly is such a talented individual. He had songs like I Wish, Fiesta, I Believe I Can Fly. Like that song is just so it just you almost want to draw a tear, listening to that song. It's so powerful. Such a great song. R. Jelly. I was waiting for that to come up. That's why I said we're talking about R. Kelly, not Jelly. But yeah, this is statutory rape. This is statutory rape. 31 years. It must have been. It was for other offenses. It wasn't just because of Miss Landfair. It was for other offenses. What was his other offenses? I'm gonna see his other offenses because it couldn't just been her. That's a statutory rape. He sold over 75 million albums and singles worldwide. Kelly was named the most successful R&B artist in the last 25 years by Billboard. He's won Grammys, BET Awards, Soul Train Music Awards, Billboard Music Awards, NAACP Image Awards, and American Music Awards. So there were other women. There were other women that were sexually abused on multiple charges involving child sexual abuse. Oh, this is so crazy. This is brazy. Mm-mm-mm. He had all kinds of different failed payment of child support. It's crazy. R. Kelly Osbourne rocking the Ozempic heavy. What? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. R. Kelly Osbourne. What are you talking about? But yeah, I think he should be freed from prison. Free R. Kelly. I'm saying it right now. Free R. Kelly. I'm gonna be the lone one. I'm the only one to say that, but he should be freed. Just the creative output that he has that's been stifled now. He would still be the best in the business. He'll still be the best. Like I said, Usher, he's got the thing for the older women, so it's the opposite of R. Kelly. So everybody's checking for him. He allegedly has herpes. Allegedly, did he got a sweetheart deal? Yeah, I'll say that too. Prostitution. There's absolutely nothing wrong with prostitution. Salute, and rock and power to George Carlin said, "Effing's real, selling's real. Why can't selling effing be real?" Like that's just a reality. Like, what's wrong with prostitution? Where's the victim? Same thing with drugs. Where's the victim? There's no victim on the face value. As long as there's no trickery involved. There's no I sold you some cut and then you had an overdose and died. That's not really their fault either, really, unless they did it intentionally. And prostitutes, they're the ones that are providing a service to somebody that's going to transact with them with money. So what is the problem? I don't understand the issue with prostitution. How is that even illegal? Sex workers have the power. They have the might based on whatever the pimp or their daddy, as they're called, allows them. Um, the prostitute is the victim. How? How is the prostitute a victim? Please tell me, Bumba. Enlighten me. Let me know. How's a prostitute a victim? I understand sex workers that are picked up on the streets and put into a van or something like that and then sold into sex work. That's a violation. That's not consensual, and especially if they're not adults, especially if they're not adults. That's definitely not prostitution. That's rape and kidnapping, assault, something like that. Serial killers. What about it? What about serial killers? I've studied many serial killers. That's one of their go-to um, people that they target because they have very little connection to other people. Their families disown them. They don't have many friends. They're usually walking the streets, very easy to pick up, very easy targets. They're usually not armed. They usually don't have any, guns or knives or anything like that, or even pepper spray or anything like that. They're very impressionable. That's why they're prostitutes. They're ready, for to get money from this person. But this person turns out to be a psychopath and a serial killer or something like that. So that I understand. They forget they target prostitutes. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I can see that. But it's not they're not necessarily always going to be a victim. I'm looking at the prostitute. We're getting off of R. Kelly, but I'm looking at prostitution. It's kind of like we're still on R. Kelly because he had charges, but I'm looking at a prostitution as like a corporation. It could be like Alphabet or Meta. If you had the proper corporate structure of prostitution rather than the street level kind of thing. That's what a lot of drug dealers had. There was Frank Lucas and Pablo Escobar. They ran their business, their cartels and their drug enterprises like they were actual businesses. That's what we need to get to. We need to get to that level for drugs and prostitution. Or if they go Eileen Wuornos, there wouldn't be any Eileen Wuornos. There wouldn't be any Eileen Wuornos because they would have the money. They don't want the money. They don't want to be killers themselves. They don't want to just kill random men or even women, whatever the case may be. But yeah. So back to R. Kelly. Back to what's her name? Rashonda Landfair. It's a sad situation. It's really out of her hands. No pun intended. She's talking about R. Kelly. She's going in, on his proclivities and his inability to wait. If he just waited, it wouldn't have been a problem. But she was 14 years old. Statutory rape and other charges. There's other charges that were instituted. I'm gonna see what this has to do with it. Let me see. The sex cult. That's what it was. The 2010 sex cult. Abusive cult. Like people couldn't leave. And if they left, they would be their lives would be ruined. R. Kelly sex girls and videotapes. Presented by reporter Ben Zand. There's alleged that R. Kelly infected one women with an STI. He categorically denies these claims and allegations. That's why I say allegedly. Allegations. Boycott and industry response. So, there's, I think, as of October 2021, going back almost 5 years now, Following his New York conviction, Kelly's YouTube channels, R. Kelly TV and R. Kelly Vivo, were terminated, but his catalog remained available on YouTube Music. Several musicians have collaborated with Kelly, expressed regret for working with him, including Celine Dion, Nick Cannon, the Pussycat Dolls, Chance the Rapper, Sierra, Lady Gaga, and Jennifer Hudson, among others. It's really sad. Saw that movie Monster. It was good. Yeah, it was a good movie. I mean, for Hollywood standards, that's a great movie. That's why I be on. I mean, it's a well-made movie, but it's thematically terrible. It's cinematically, it's like a blow. You're waiting for the next scene. You're on like pins and needles. What's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? That's what happened with One Battle After Another. I was like, what's gonna happen next? This is terrible. Subject matter and terrible themes. But the acting is great. The direction is great. It's just the writing, the actual themes of the movie were horrible, horrific. I'm gonna get to it one of these days. Maybe I'll get to it tomorrow or something. But yeah, Charlize Theron, she won the Best Actress. That's Hollywood. You got to get dirty. You got to mess up. You got to be filthy. You got to be a criminal. You got to be literally dirty and ugly. They made her face up to be like she was like heavy set, and she was. I think her mouth was kind of messed up, and her she had pock marks on her face, and her hair was all frazzled. She was just a mess. You can't have just a beautiful woman, with clean cut business suit and a COO role or CEO role, in the movie and stay that way. Here's looking at you, Begonia. But anyway, yeah, Charlize Theron killed it. She was great. Her girlfriend was okay. Yeah. Are you saying she looked okay? That's what's her name? Christina Ricci. Christina Ricci with her big head. I think girls with big heads are cute. Tyra Banks, Rihanna, Sade. Females and women with big heads are cute. Her real girlfriend looked nothing like her. Oh wow. They probably had to do that for Hollywood. Hollywood had to switch it up. They had to change it. Here are the guilty verdicts. After a 6-week trial, including 2 days of deliberations on September 27, 2021, the jury returned a verdict of guilty on all 9 counts of the verdict sheet. They include 1 count of racketeering, which is crazy. He had racketeering with the cult. Is that the cult? Is that what they mean by racketeering? Okay. 8 Mann Act violations, 3 accounts of transportation across state lines for illegal sexual activity, 4 counts of coercion and enticement, 1 count of transportation of a minor. I am against the coercion and enticement and the transportation of a minor, but not for the state lines for illegal sexual activity. What is illegal sexual activity? What is illegal? I mean, if you're not, raping, is that what they mean? Illegal sexual activity. That the only thing I can think is sexual assault or SA on. I'm not even on. I can say sexual assault. Forgetting, and I was gonna say grape, but rape. I thought it was rape and sexual assault were the only ones. Racketeering Act 1, bribery. Acts 5 and 9, Mann Act violations. 8, 13, and 14, Mann Act violations. Post verdict reaction sentencing. Sentenced to 168 to 210 months imprisonment, and that victim of Kelly was a sophisticated 16-year-old. So there's that. Okay. Now I have to talk about church. Pastor Jamal Bryant. Let me make sure I have his name. Yes, Pastor Jamal Bryant. He's looking to find out about his white violence, quote unquote, in black churches. But this is the thing. Jesus would allow that. He would allow it. If he took stripes, if he took all the wounds and the different things that happened to him, the crown of thorns, the spear to his side, the hanging on the posts for hours and hours, the cat of nine tails that ripped out his flesh, I think he would allow somebody in the church building. That's just me. I'm an atheist. I don't know. I'm just trying to fall back off of my history in the church and the church I attend now that has included Jesus in the Old Testament. I've never heard that before, so I was intrigued. So I just kept going to that church. R. Kelly on R. Kelly on his Jim Jones, David Koresh. Oh yeah, maybe. Why do you want to be like Star so bad? Speed Bizzle 617. Who said I want to be like Star? That was your first question. Any more, you got to pay for it. Who said I want to be like Star? Just because I'm an atheist? How's that? You know how many millions of atheists around the world? Do they want to be like Star? Come on now. Let's ask appropriate adult questions. Act like you're a grown up. Act like you got a pair. An atheist in church, exactly. I'm a spy. I'm a mole. I see what they're up to. I can just simply, look at home, watch the different services online, but I choose to, wake up early in the morning, around 4 or 5 o'clock, put on clothes, have my breakfast, and we're out the door by 7 or earlier, 6:37. Yes, Speed Bizzle, we have a troll. Speed Bizzle is a troll. He says, "Come on, brother." He knows that we don't say brother. No, you don't. You take Klonopin. That's true. That's a fact. Reverend Sky. I like that, Bumba. I was going to be a reverend for a little while in my life. For a little bit. For just a moment. For like a brief moment in my life, I was going to be a reverend. I was going to be a pastor of a church. I used to scribble down. There was he's dead now, so I didn't say his name. It was Pastor Minus. I remember Pastor Minus's sermons, and I would scribble down, little notes on it. I'm like 8 or 9 years old, and I'm just like scribbling down his notes. I don't know what me having to take Klonopin has anything to do with it. I always call it by its generic name, Clonazepam. But yeah, I don't even know what you mean. No, you don't. No, I don't what. But thank you for trolling. I appreciate the trolls. You gotta have trolls that's the resistance. That's like, we have bars in the gym. You just have resistance, you have a little bit of resistance, you're not gonna work up enough muscle. That's why they get the term no pain, no gain. You gotta have enough. Klonopin is dope. Yeah, well, if you overdose on that, you probably do. I just take the recommended dosage and keep it moving after that. I don't take anything beyond that. So I would say that people that want to be in his church. He said there was a white evangelical or something like that. There was some kind of white supremacist or something like that that was terrorizing his church. Well, I would say just by the law, that's wrong. By the law, we have a semi-capitalist society. We're semi-capitalist. We're not fully capitalist. We have too many controls and regulations to be called capitalist. But we're semi-capitalist. We have a semblance of ideas of capitalism. And if there are people that want to come into your church, you can block them. You can say, "This is my property. This is," they'll say probably God's property or something like that. But you're protected by the laws that govern um, private property. That's what capitalism is. Capitalism is a system of justice. It is the system that says that all property is privately owned and that it protects property rights and individual rights. I gotta watch Righteous Gemstones. I think that's gonna be hilarious. I've never seen one episode. I gotta watch it. I might watch it tonight. I think I have a few things I have to watch. I have to watch Fallout, and I have to watch the rest of. Yeah, I just watched one of the episodes of The Handmaid's Tale. I know that's over now, but I'm trying to get up to speed with it. Yeah, Righteous Gemstones is hilarious. Just on the surface, I just saw a few clips, and I'm like, this is greatness. And what Drewski is doing, Drewski is going after the mega churches, the nefarious ones especially. There are legitimate mega churches, but for the one guy, I can't remember his name. I'm flying off with no wings right now. I'm just falling, about to pull my parachute. But there was one pastor that he was making fun of. What is it? Yes, Danny McBride always has good shit. He has great movies too. He's underrated in a movie called uh Jesus Christ, what is it? I can't think of the name. It's one of my favorite movies. Hot Rod. Hot Rod. That's it. Hot Rod. So yeah, you gotta check out Hot Rod, and then of course, Eastbound and Down. I think is the name of the other show he's on. Um, of course, Pineapple Express. Those are just really great, movies that he do comedies. I think he was the one that was like, yeah, Vice Principals. But I think he was the one that was in the bathroom. He was shot or something like that. He was playing he was playing Crossroads. He like lit a candle or something like that. I can't remember what it was. He was playing Bone Thugs and Harmony Crossroads because he thought he was gonna die. Oh my God! But we're getting off a track. Churches are usually nonprofit organizations. Some of them are privatized. Some of them, I mean, they're all private, but some of them are. I hate to say nonprofit. That's what I was trying to say, but I hate to say nonprofit because they actually profit. Well, they would say spiritually they profit, and I would say spiritually they profit as well, but through money. You can get spiritual enrichment through cash, something that's based on your mind. They're giving you messages and different sermons and different ideas. That's the word I'm trying to think of. Ideas about reality and or not non-reality actually, but what they would classify as reality. Yeah, so I would say, why not, grant them grace and mercy. Allow them to come into your church. Allow them to disrupt your services. Give them grace and mercy. God did. Jesus did. He gave them grace and mercy. He took on all the sins of the world, the wretched, the pitiful, the poor, the blind, and the naked. He took on all of that. For you and I'd rather have Jesus than all the houses and all the lands and they want Don Lemon. Yeah, I guess they do. Maybe they do. They want Don Lemon, maybe. I don't know. But the churches, they're run by a private enterprise. They're really businesses. If you look at it literally. But my question is, why are they not all taxed? They usually don't get taxes. They don't have tax burden. The pastors, the deacons, all of them, they don't have to get taxed. The musicians, as far as I know, I remember something in a church I went to before. They were like, give her, give the piano player $599 because at $600 you get taxed. So they knew that everybody had to get paid $599 for the year, or they'll have to start paying taxes. But for the most part, I think they don't have to pay any taxes. That's what I understand as. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the case. Most churches, especially the mega churches and the churches, I mean, they talk about it on SNL now. They say you can go to church in jeans on with your jeans. It's a totally different realm. Church used to be a whole, it was almost like Easter Sunday every Sunday. You had to put on a suit. Yeah, I remember. You put on a suit. You had to put on a shirt. You had to put on a tie. You walked up and you gave your tithe and offering. When the music played, and you had to go back into your seat. It's a totally different world now. You can get your app. Get your phone, put it on the app. The QR code, and boop, right there. Get the money and put it towards the church, just off the back of the chairs. The back of the chairs, they now have it. And the church that I attend is working on making it a bigger church. They're working on expanding. So I think that's just supreme irony, but it's part of reality. It's part of reality. Um, but yeah, so Pastor Jamal Bryant is like, where's the arrest warrant? Where's the arrest warrant? Why you want them to be arrested? You should say, come to my flock, come suffer unto me. Not just the little children, but the weak and the feeble and the old, the young, the bold. I didn't mean to rhyme right there, but I did. But that's what it is. Why isn't he allowing them to show some kind of kindness and turn the other cheek? When a man steals from you, give him your cloak. Love your enemies. Love your enemies. You don't have to like your enemies. I hate that. I hate that. Because it's like they wiggle. It's a wiggle dance when you're in a Christian, especially Christian. When you're in the myth, the mystical realm altogether, it's a wiggle dance. Oh, I love my enemies, but I don't have to like them. Ha ha ha. And see, cha 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 cha. You don't have to be, completely focused on loving your enemy so much as you don't have to like them. You see, if you don't like somebody, you should be like, I don't really like the way they do things, but you know what? I love them as a person of God, and I'm a child of God. They're a child of God. I love them. That's how I see it. Speaking tongues. I don't. You know what I don't like when people say speaking tongues? It's because people think it's just gibberish. They think it's like, I don't know, all that stuff. It just sounds like gibberish. Speaking in tongues literally means speaking in different languages. And I only know one language. I don't even know English. I know very scant Spanish. Just a very fractured amount of Spanish. I think I had a D when I ended my career in Spanish. Yes, thank you, Jesse. Thank you for that hatred. I don't even know if you're a man or female, but he says, God bless you, brother. God bless you, brother. God damn it, God bless you. I'm not your brother, but God bless you too. There is no God, but God bless you too. And that's the sad, sick, twisted irony of all time. People put so much effort, so much emphasis, so much of their lives. They stake their lives on something that isn't real, isn't there. It never existed. But they go about it anyway, especially black people. Black people are weird. They're the strangest I've ever noticed. Black people in America, black Americans, foundational black Americans, the FBA are the strangest, weirdest, most ironic people ever. They got out of bondage under the idea of being like on some Moses stuff, like the Egyptians, and the Jews, getting out and crossing the Red Sea, and then Egypt's Pharaoh's army drowned in the Red Sea. Bless his heart. Yes, bless his heart. Bless his heart. He don't know no better. He don't know no better. But yeah, so that's the only thing I can think of. Because they say in the Bible doesn't say, thou shalt not have slaves. Thou shalt not conduct slavery. That's not one of the commandments. Also, it doesn't say, this is going back to R. Kelly, thou shalt not rape. I don't think he had any necessarily rape charges, but, allegedly. But it's too goofy. It's too goofy for me. Way too goofy. Way too goofy. So I would say, given the idea of the FBA are weird as hell. They're I'm FBA, but I was in that too. I was in it for 16 years. But to continue to be adults, to be grown-ups, to be full-fledged adults. I stopped when I was in my teenage years. When I was 19, I was like, that's it. Can't do this anymore. I'm dropping it. I'm never coming back. My dad still says I'm going to come back to the church one day. It'll never happen. It's never going to happen. Never, never, never. Just like Joel Osteen. Never, never, never. But, FBA is weird. And it's like, it's still fractured too, because most FBA is like, I don't really go to church, but I still believe in God. Jesus is my savior. He's my, whatever. I don't really, get up and go to church for, Bible study or Sunday school or something like that. But I believe in God. He owns my heart. He knows, what I'm about. That's cute. All that is cute, but you got to stand on something. You can't just stand on that. You can't. You got to have the full force of it. You have to go to church. You have to read your Bible. You have to do all of that. Haters gonna hate, lovers gonna love. I don't even want none of the above. I want to, you know the rest. It wouldn't have been a thing, by the way. Can I go back to R. Kelly? If she was 21 years old, it wouldn't even have been a song. It wouldn't even been a song, really. The reason why is because she was an underage child. She was a minor at the time. But anyway, going back to Pastor Jamal Bryant. One is an arrest warrant. Why do you want an arrest warrant? No, you want to give them Bible study. You want to give them food. You want to give them clothing. You want to bring them into the fold. You want the white nationalists and the white supremacists. You want them to be a part of your church services, right? Am I right or am I wrong? What? That's Jesus, right? Jesus would have been like, what? It's all good. Y'all come in. I know you hate me, but I sit down at the table with my enemies, and I make them my footstools. What? Why are? How are enemies your footstools, and you love your enemies? So you love your Ottomans? Oh yeah, I love my Ottoman. Kick my feet up. So your enemies are your footstools, but your enemy is you love your enemy. So you know what Satan means? Satan means an adversary. Adversary also means enemy. So Christians, therefore, using my math, love Satan. If I'm lying, I'm flying. But they love Satan because Satan is the adversary or the enemy. If I'm wrong, tell me. Let me know. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So it's it's deep. It's really deep. Hail Satan, yeah, hail Satan, hail Satan, hey, hail Satin. Oh, I see you. You said hail Satin. Yeah, satin, leather, wool. What are the other upholster? Different textures, different clothing textures. Hail Satin. That's funny, but yeah, it just hit me the wrong way when I saw Pastor Jamal Bryant saying that white supremacists can't. I mean, like, yes, you're right if you're talking about property rights, but as Christians, you should be like, come in, come in, come in, come to our services, come in. If your property rights, no, you got to stop, go out. You're out. You're on my property. This is private property. You cannot trespass. I'm calling the police. I'm calling everybody. We're getting search warrants. We're making sure that this doesn't happen. Like, I just, it's so weird. It's such a strange space to be because, like I said, the FBA are so confused. They're so confused. Should I be part of the Muslims? Should I be, go the Jewish route? Should I be Christian? Should I be atheist? I guess I'll be Christian, but it's a different Christian. It's a different flavor of Christian that we have with the FBA. It's a totally different flavor. And this is my thing with believers of all stripes and colors. They're serious. They're sincere, but they're not serious. Excuse me. They're sincere, but they're not serious. Like you would sign a letter, you would say sincerely, whatever your name is. You wouldn't say seriously. That's like way too. They're sincere. They believe in Jesus. They believe in God. They believe in all that stuff. That's great. More power to you. But they're not serious about it. There's jokes about Jesus. There's jokes about God. There's jokes about all. They don't take it that seriously. From what I understand, as FBA and other stripes, brown, red, yellow, white, you know, the blacks especially, the FBA especially, because they have little um little jokes that they say about God and stuff like that. So, and it's not just the FBA. Of course, it's not just the FBA. It's white, red, yellow, black, brown too. But that's just the reality of it all. That's just the reality of it all. And you have to take into account the reason why people are so despondent when it comes to the idea of getting up on Sunday morning, putting on clothes, going down to going to whatever church building you are. And that's the thing I'm starting to notice too. It used to be like every corner there was a church, and that kind of is the truth still. But they're like older churches now. Like the newer churches that are getting bigger, and the mega churches or the auditorium style churches, they're getting more play than their traditional here's the people, here the steeple kind of churches um that dot the land. There's churches going back to the 1600s, 1700s, some of them around this country. There's very, very old churches. Then there's some churches that are, that came up during the 90s, came up during sometimes 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. But the mega church is the regular one because that's what the Time a magazine asked: does God want you to be rich? And the answer is yes. I mean, according to your scripture. But what does rich mean? Rich in wealth, rich in land, maybe, but he wants you to be rich in spirit. He wants you to be rich in your ideas. That's the scary part, because people take it so sincerely, but not seriously. They're very sincere, but they're not serious about it. That's the truth. And that is what I'm fighting, the good fight for in all this, because I just think it's such a disgrace and so wrong, because like Pastor Jamal Bryant, he says he responded after white pastor disrupts his church service. It's okay, so he disrupts his church service. Allow him to. No, don't call the feds. Don't call the police. Say, come in, my brother. Come in. We're gonna pray together. We're gonna sit down together. We're gonna tell each other and say we love each other. That's the proper thing to do. Christian, yeah, in a Christian sense. I would say Christianically. That's not a word. Oh, off topic. You hear about Savannah Guthrie? Yes, I know. I heard about it. Yeah, very sad. Do you have an update? If you have an update, I'll talk about it real quick. I have a few minutes left. If you have any updates, I'll talk about it. She's still missing, as far as I can understand. What a way to begin the year, Really sad. But Jamal Bryant, I mean, I was just really surprised that he's on a search warrant. What? Excuse me, an arrest warrant. What? Arrest for what? For whom? What do you mean arrest warrant? You mean a love warrant? You mean an open arms warrant? You mean I implore you to have love for your enemy. Love for your enemy. That's what Jesus said on Sermon on the Mount. Love for your enemy. You don't have to like your enemy. See, it's that wiggle thing. They wiggle out of it. I don't like her, but I love her. I don't like him, but I love him. He's my Christian brother. We're in this together. Like, that's the serious, scary world in which we live. That's how serious all this is. But they take it only sincerely, not seriously. It's a difference. When you're sincere, you mean it. You're trusting, and you're projecting that you understand, that you're showing that you care and that you really do find something to be of worth. But seriously is that you take something. Who's serious? The Islamists. They're serious. They're taking their religion seriously. I don't even like to use the word religion. I'm going to say faith, because religion could be like you brushing your teeth every day. But faith, their faith is Islam. Yeah, they're serious. They're the ones that fly jet planes in the office buildings, strap themselves with bombs and blow up themselves up in marketplaces, stab people in the eye and on the arm because of words that were said in a book decades before. They're serious. They're very serious. See, Christians are sincere, but Islamists, Muslim. Now I'm going to say Muslims. I'm going to say Islamists. Islamists are serious. You can't even draw a Muhammad T-shirt. I wish we would. There should be every corner, in every block, in every city. There should be Muhammad T-shirts everywhere. What would they do? They're gonna blow up everywhere, every little nook and cranny in the world, because they got hurt by. Oh my God, they're making Muhammad T-shirts. I can't believe this. I have to go chop their heads off now. Brother-in-law is suspect. Ooh, they get crazy in prison. Who is that? Who gets crazy in prison? You went off a little bit, Mama. Who gets crazy in prison? Are you talking about the Islamists? Who gets crazy in prison? Not sure who you're referring to right now. Let's say Islamists, because Muslims are sincere. See, they're not serious. Muslims are like Christians and Jews, but not Hasidic Jews. So they're serious. Hasidic Jews are serious. They don't drive cars on Saturdays. They don't, they take, they fast for that day. That's serious. There's Islamists, Hasidic Jews, and some Christians. There's not too many serious, very serious Christians. There's like those snake people, the people that hold up the snakes and run through the fire and stuff like that. They're serious Christians, yeah. I don't even know if they still are around, but yeah, they're serious. But I'll wrap it up right now. Jamal Bryant, look, hey, I see your passion, but you're misplacing it. You want to be like your Savior, Jesus, on the Sermon on the Mount. Turn the other cheek. Give the cloak away. Be modest. Be humble. Be all of that, because that's Christianity, not my system of understanding. It's to be egoistic, to be selfish, to be rational, to be thoughtful, and that's the difference. Hey, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you sometime tomorrow. Take care.